I met an alien woman on an abandoned road. The road was lifeless, stretching endlessly through a desolate forest. My headlights flickered occasionally, casting eerie shadows on the trees. I was on my way back from a remote wildlife shoot. It had been a long day, and fatigue weighed heavily on my shoulders. As I rounded a sharp bend, my headlights caught something unusual, a figure running down the middle of the road. I slowed down, squinting to see better. It was a woman. Her long, flowing gown shimmered with a strange, iridescent glow, and she moved with an unnerving speed and grace. Startled, I hit the brakes hard. The truck came to a screeching halt, and for a moment, we locked eyes. Her eyes glowed faintly green, as if lit from within. Then, without warning, she bolted into the woods. My mind raced with questions. Who was she? What was she doing here? Against my better judgment, I grabbed my flashlight and stepped out of the truck. The forest swallowed me as I followed the faint sound of her footsteps, crunching on the underbrush. "Hey, wait!" I called out. "Are you okay? I won't hurt you." A rustling sound came from behind me. I spun around, my flashlight trembling in my grip. There she was, standing just a few feet away. Up close, she was otherworldly. Her gown looked like liquid light, flowing in an invisible breeze, and her skin had a faint luminescence. Her hands were elongated, her fingers impossibly delicate. "Please," she said, her voice soft but urgent. "Don't follow me." "Wait," I said, lowering my flashlight. "I just want to help. Are you lost?" Her glowing eyes filled with fear. "They're coming. If they see you with me, they'll take you too." "Who's coming?" I asked, my heartbeat quickening. Before she could answer, a low, resonant hum filled the air. The sound vibrated through the ground, through my chest, as if the forest itself was trembling. I looked up and saw a massive, triangular craft descending from the clouds. Its underside was covered in pulsating lights, scanning the trees like searchlights. She turned to run again, but I grabbed her wrist. Her skin was cold like polished stone. "Come with me," I urged. "I can get us out of here." For a moment, she hesitated, her glowing eyes searching mine. Then she nodded, and we ran back to the truck. The craft above us followed, its lights slicing through the darkness like a predator stalking its prey. We scrambled into the truck, and I floored the gas pedal. The tires spun before finding grip, and the truck lurched forward. The hum grew louder, the lights brighter. The craft was nearly on top of us. "What do they want?" I shouted over the noise. "Me," she said simply, her voice trembling. "And they'll destroy anything in their way." She closed her eyes and began to hum softly. The air inside the truck grew heavy, as if charged with static electricity. My hands tingled on the steering wheel. The lights from the craft flickered and dimmed, and then, as if repelled by an invisible force, it veered off course and disappeared into the clouds. The truck skidded to a stop at the edge of a clearing. My heart was racing, my mind a storm of questions. She sat beside me, her hands trembling in her lap. "Who are you?" I asked, trying to steady my voice. She looked at me, her glowing eyes filled with sorrow. "My name is Alara," she said. "I'm not from this world." It felt absurd to even ask, but the words tumbled out. "Are you an alien?" She nodded, her expression grave. "I escaped my planet when it was destroyed. I've been running ever since. They're hunters. They track survivors like me to ensure we don't rebuild." "Why?" I asked, anger rising in my chest. "Why would they do that?" "Fear," she said. "Of what we know. Of what we might become." For a long moment, we sat in silence, the enormity of her words sinking in. Finally, she broke the silence. "You shouldn't have helped me," she said. "Now you're in danger too." "I couldn't just leave you," I said. What kind of person would I be if I did? Her lips curled into a faint smile, but it quickly faded. I can't stay. They'll come back, and next time, they'll be stronger. You need to forget this ever happened. Before I could respond, the forest around us lit up with the same pulsating lights. The hum returned, louder and more menacing than before. A second craft appeared, descending rapidly. Alara's eyes widened with terror. "No," she whispered. "It's too late." The craft hovered above us, its beam of light locking onto the truck. The air grew thick and heavy, and I felt an overwhelming sense of dread. Alara reached out and touched my hand. "I can't let them take you," she said, her voice breaking. "Close your eyes." "Alara, no." "Close them," she cried. I obeyed, squeezing my eyes shut. A blinding light enveloped us, and the hum grew deafening. Then, suddenly, everything went silent. When I opened my eyes, I was alone. The truck was still in the clearing, but Alara was gone. The air was still, the night eerily quiet. I stepped out of the truck, looking around desperately. "Alara!" I shouted, my voice echoing through the empty forest. There was no answer. I searched the area for hours, but there was no sign of her. Eventually, as dawn broke, I returned to the truck, exhausted and defeated. The memory of her face haunted me. Her glowing eyes, her sorrowful smile, her desperate plea. I couldn't shake the feeling that I had lost something extraordinary, something I would never fully understand. But as the days turned into weeks, the details began to fade. Her voice, her touch, even the events of that night felt like fragments of a dream, slipping through my fingers. And yet, every time I looked up at the night sky, I couldn't help but wonder. Somewhere out there, was she still running? Was she safe? Or had the hunters finally caught her? I'll never know. But one thing is certain, I'll never look at the stars the same way again.